All right, welcome everybody to our BFRW committee for July 17th of 2026. Our chair, Roger Haringa, is not available today, and I was hoping to get a motion for our chair pro tem for today.
Move Tom Handy, please.
Second.
And looking at our attendance so far, we don't quite have a quorum, so we don't need to, I guess, vote on this at the moment. But when we get a full quorum in here, we'll go ahead and do that. So I'll keep the motion and the second noted, and when we get quorum, we can make a vote on that. And I'll turn it over to you, Tom, to lead us through unofficially at the moment.
Okay. Well, unofficially, we'll start with roll call, please.
So as it was said, Roger is unavailable today. Todd Bayrether,
Here.
Dan Young, Angela Hopt, Katie Sheehan, here, Tom Handy,
Here.
and Scott Bastiani, which I don't see. So we only have three, which is not, we need four for a quorum.
Try just one.
Yep. We just
Okay, we'll keep our eye out for a quorum. Is there anybody from the public that would like to be recognized? If so, raise your hand. Seeing none, we can review the agenda. We can't approve it, but if anybody has any comments on that, now would be the time. Hearing none, we'll move on to review the minutes. Any comments on the minutes? I didn't see anything that looked out of the ordinary there.
look good to me.
Okay, if we get quorum, we'll go back and make all of this formal. Going back to the agenda, then item number 4 is an opinion request. That I think, Dustin, if you want to lead the discussion on that.
Yeah.
Great.
So we had this opinion request at last month's BFRW committee meeting.
Dustin, I think you froze up. Or is it me?
No, I froze.
Okay. Well, our internet woes continue.
Oh, I'll send him a message.
Okay.
Right, he's probably still talking.
Probably. For those of you that just joined us, we had moved on without a quorum to item number 4, and then Dustin's internet froze.
And now he's disappeared, so.
And now he has disappeared. Hopefully he's not disappeared for good. Or this might be a shorter meeting than anybody anticipated.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we could just simply add this to the meeting next week. Is that the idea?
I think we might have to if Dustin doesn't come back to discuss it. Oh, here he is.
Yes.
Okay, start at the top, Dustin. We didn't hear anything you said. And you're muted.
All right, so sorry about that. Not sure what happened to the connection here. I'm in Olympia and something just happened to drop me. So we heard this opinion at last BFRW committee meeting. This is coming from City of Bellingham, and there's a specific project generating the question, but the question is kind of highlighting a potential, not necessarily a loophole, but a area of grayness in the IEBC and how to apply some of the fire protection requirements. So at the last month's meeting, we discussed this and we're looking for some more information and trying to go through and distill out maybe a more generalized question that can be applicable across the state, not just applicable to this one process or project, sorry. And so the question has been revised down from 3 separate questions to just one single question, and it relates to work area and how the fire resistance requirements of the International Building Code are applied for both level 1, level 2, and level 3 alterations, but we're framing the question in relation to level 1 and level 2 alterations. So let me update the share here real quick and show what I have drafted for this opinion today. My opinion requester's not available today. We don't have quorum. So I would say with this kind of introduction, get some more, if there's questions for the opinion requester, we can get those back out to them and bring this back at a future one. And we don't have to spend a ton of time on this here today. So give me 1 second and I'll get the share going here. Okay, so we should see this. Distilled this down from 3 questions asking about different aspects and saying if yes, then I have this next question type format. So the question that we've distilled down is, for the purposes of the fire protection, does a level 2 alteration work area need to consider all the work being done when portions of the work of the total work area being undertaken would maybe be considered level 1? So when we look at the specific code sections here, I've got them all pulled up in separate windows. We have the definition of work area, which is that portion or portions of a building consisting of all reconfigured spaces as indicated on the construction documents. We'll see later that, well, in other parts of this code, that there are requirements for the work area to be delineated on the project plans. And so work areas exclude the other portions of the building where incidental work entailed by the intended work must be performed, and portions of the building where not initially intended by the owner or specifically required by this code. I do believe that where incidental work is a key component to this question and into the specific scenario that's generating this question. When we look at Chapter 7 is in the IEBC a alterations level 1 chapter. So this is really for replacement of wall coverings and fixtures without any change in fire resistance levels in the area. So I guess let's get to Chapter 6 and look at classification of work real quick. The level 1 alterations include removal and replacement of the covering of existing materials, elements, equipment, or fixtures using new materials, elements, equipment, or fixtures that serve the same purpose. So getting back to the Chapter 7 level 1 fire resistance part of this question, where did it go? 703, sorry. Alteration shall be done in a manner that maintain the current level of fire protection provided. So it means anything you put in can't reduce the level of safety that's already existent in the existing building. When we get to Chapter 8, that is for level 2 alterations. Before I get over there, I'll pop into Chapter 6 to look at how those works are classified. Level 2 alterations include the addition or elimination of any door or window, the reconfiguration of or extension of any system, or the installation of any additional equipment, and shall apply where the work is below the threshold of a level 3 alteration. And level 3 alterations, we talk about substantial improvement or substantial damage, which is more related to flood proofing of buildings. And we're more focused on this number 2 here. The alteration area exceeds 50% of the building. In the specific project that's generating this question, we have an existing building with several levels of B occupancy above, one level of A occupancy below. And in the A occupancy, they are reconfiguring a couple walls, and the applicant would like to have the work area be contained to where only the walls are being altered. The specific project, though, has a in the horizontal assembly above the A and B occupancy, or above the A separating the B occupancy, they have removed the ceiling, which has some fire rating qualities in there, to replace some electrical and mechanical components. And the entire ceiling of the A floor has been removed. And the question is, if the ceiling work is considered a level 1 type work, does the type level 2 alteration work need to consider all of the area on the floor for consideration in how the code is applied? The question becomes here, this building doesn't have an existing sprinkler system, and the code, as we're reading it and based on the answer I'm proposing to provide, is that yes, all the work area, if it includes a little bit of level 2 in there, the electrical mechanical stuff isn't incidental as a result of the movement of walls or installation of new walls, but expands the total work area to include the entire floor. And so the question that I have prepared is really focused on that concept right there: is, do we need to combine these work areas as a total work area when we're talking about fire resistance and how to apply it to the total project? And my proposed answer is yes. And I'm prepared to expand on that a little bit with some reasoning, but I don't have that here because I wanted to discuss a little bit further. And so that's my introduction. And is there comments or questions maybe for the requester? And if not, we can table this for a little bit future and bring it to the council meeting or to the next BFRW committee, depending on what the questions and desire is here.
I remember this discussion a little bit from before, Dustin, but maybe you can give me a little clarification. Was the work being done on 2 floors or just on 1 floor?
It's
Yeah.
just on 1 floor, and I will admit that when we brought this last month, I had misinterpreted kind of the scope of where the work was happening. I was under the impression that the work was happening above the A occupancy area, and they needed to replace some electrical mechanical stuff in the floor below and needed to remove the ceiling, and therefore bring in all of both the B floor and the A floor below into the work area. As we talk about the 50% thresholds that we're looking at here for how to apply that level 3 alteration, because that's the question: is, are we kicking this project into a level 3 alteration? And I believe this particular project is a 4 or 5-story building and was built in the early 1900s. And so has some historical character to it and doesn't have the benefit of meeting all the fire requirements of the modern code. There's also some issue with fire flow availability for this building. And so there's some exceptions that allow this, but the reviewer for this project still has the question of how these work areas interplay. And I think that they have a solution moving forward on this particular project using some of the exceptions, but they still wanted to try to get this answer, or this question answered.
Do you know if the building's on the historic register?
That I do not know.
I can you just explain if the 50% thing again? Does that mean that if it's over 50%, is that just generally? Or because I guess it's like, this is a really simple answer, and like, what if it's only like 10% or 5% of the work area?
If it's at that 10 to 5% of the work area, and we're talking whole building area, not necessarily just that 1 floor. But if we get all the way up to 49% of total building area is implicated by this project, then it kicks it into a level 3 alteration, and it's almost full compliance with the building code as it is here today,
Right.
with some limited exceptions. The level 2 alteration would just, as we get there, there might be some aspects of the fire protection that apply on the full floor and then would kind of be considered incidental work as required. But if the consideration of the ceiling and the fire separation above is additive to the work area of the installation of new walls in the A area, then the structure is still, I think, under 50% threshold, but they're implicating the whole floor instead of just a small space of the floor. And so I think we'd still be in that level 2 alteration for the specific project. But I don't have the benefit of seeing actual plans on this.
Sure.
And and also our requester's not here to maybe answer some of these questions. They'd be the best source on that.
No, that's okay. I guess so. Thank you for that. And then what if, so say it's whatever, 49%, so it's not reaching that threshold. But what if the like level 1 work area is only 10%? It still has to be, the level 2 has to would supersede all of that under this answer. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Yeah.
So if you were doing only level 1 work in a building, there is no percentage threshold that you need to worry about to be kicked into maybe level 2 or level 3, because it's all superficial work that the intent is to maintain all the current levels of safety provided. And in this one, the particular horizontal separation had a tin ignition barrier that was removed. It's kind of like one of those old ceiling tile configurations, and they're putting back in equivalent material, but it's not the same material. And I think that's kind of generating the question. But the addition of the walls and new kind of configuration of the floor space below definitely has level 2 work in there, and we're just trying to make sure we're calculating the threshold accurately for folks.
Got it. Cool. Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments from the public or otherwise?
Lost my Zoom meeting window.
Well, I don't see any questions arising from the public. We can't take action on this today, and so I think the only thing we can do is postpone this until the next meeting of the council.
Yes.
And we can only do that because we can't take action on it.
Yeah. And if we can get the requester here to finalize this one as well and make sure that they can answer some questions, and it might change the character of the answer as well, or the nature of the question. So yeah, I think with that, we're kind of wrapped up with agenda 4, and we don't have a quorum still, based on my last accounting. And so that leaves us with not a lot else on the agenda.
Yeah, unless there's any other business that needs to
I
be
have
brought up
none.
at this time. All right. Well then, I
Best
suppose
meeting
it's
ever.
yeah, I suppose it's appropriate to adjourn. Hey,
All right.
Dustin, I've got on
Thank
my
you.
calendar, I've got some hearings that are listed.
Yes.
Are those taking place still as planned, or
Yes, on the 5th and 7th of August. The 5th will be in Olympia at 1500 Jefferson, and on the 7th will be at Spokane City Hall.
okay? I had something for today. Maybe I just kind of misplaced it.
Oh, so I do believe that for today was based on the previous plan for filing of the energy codes.
Okay, then I'll just delete that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
See y'all later.